She was told no to displaying her faith at school, so she decided to stand up. Hi, I'm Peyton Luke, and you're watching First Liberty Live. So if you've been following along with First Liberty this fall, you've probably seen a couple of our cases having to do with high school seniors and their parking spot and wanting to have religious imagery in it. So, and their stories have been inspiring to so many across the nation, as well as for us here at First Liberty. So today I have one of our clients here with us, high school senior Sophia Shumaker, along with her counsel, Keisha Tony Russell. Keisha, Sophia, thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Excited to have you. I'm excited to dive in. I just got to meet Sophia, and this is actually really fun. Full circle moment from the beginning of the case. So, Sophia, I'll start with you. You actually heard about the story with Sabrina Steffens, who was in a very similar situation, and it inspired you to reach out to First Liberty when you found yourself in almost the same situation as her. So just tell us a little bit about what happened and how it all started.
Yeah, so Rampart has a senior tradition for seniors who want to paint their parking spot and express themselves. You have to fill out this whole form with a list of rules and stuff you have to do. And I wanted to submit a picture of the shepherd and the sheep with a Bible verse. I think it was Luke 15 and then 1 Corinthians 13:4. And it got denied just because of the religious imagery on it. And so I resubmitted it with a different design on it.
Yeah. So, and why were those Bible verses important to you?
Well, Luke 15 basically just describes the parable of the lost sheep and the shepherd leaving the other 99 sheep. So it kind of resembles you're never going to be alone and Jesus will always come and find you even though you're lost. Mm-hmm. And then 1 Corinthians 13:4 is love is patient, love is kind, and that's just a Bible verse that's been really near and dear to my heart.
That's awesome. So when you found out that your design wasn't going to be allowed, what was going through your mind in that moment?
It was honestly really disheartening just because other seniors could express themselves how they wanted, and religion is just such a big identity for me and such a big part of my life. That's all I wanted to do on mine.
Yeah. So, and what were some of the other designs that other students had up?
I think some people did characters from Disney movies, pictures of mountains and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they could have that, but no Bible verses. So Keisha, bringing you into the conversation on to what was the school's original guidelines and why legally were they wrong?
So the school's guidelines, which were posted on their website, said that for this particular program, students were not able to put any religious imagery or language or messages at all on their spaces. So there were two problems. The first is that, this is clearly personal private speech. They're opening up this forum, this opportunity for the students to speak privately. And so they're censoring Sophia's religious speech, but not similar secular speech, is a violation of the free speech clause and the free exercise clause. But the other big problem was that throughout the district, there were inconsistent guidelines. So there were schools in the exact same district that did allow students to put religious imagery on their parking spaces, which also cuts against that idea that this is government speech. This is clearly private speech that they're allowing. And so we wrote them a letter and just kind of outlined all of those issues and said, look, right now you're violating the Constitution. We'd like to resolve this amicably by you just, changing these guidelines and respecting the constitutional rights of your students. And so that's what we did.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now, of course, the school has changed the policy.
Yeah, after a couple weeks.
Yeah. And that's exciting because that's crazy that they were originally saying that the students' parking spaces were government speech and not even personal speech. Mm-hmm. And that's wild. That's so wild.
Well, it's indicative of what's going on generally in the government, where in order to avoid honoring the private religious speech of either students or teachers, the government will just say, well, it's government speech. And it only becomes government speech when the Christians want to speak.
Yeah.
But not before.
Yeah. No, because, clearly Disney characters, mountains, anything else is fine. But when you have a Bible verse, dangerous territory. So I actually have a copy of the updated letter that they sent out to the parents announcing that they were going to make the change, and how it was saying for the remainder of the school year, the schools will allow artwork based on students' viewpoint around topics such as religion. And that was all based off of you standing up and for your courage, and it made a difference for the entire school district. So how did you feel when you heard that the guidelines were going to be changed?
I felt really good. I had a lot of people reach out to me saying that they're proud of me and they can't wait to paint religious imagery on their parking space next year. And I was just really excited to, stick up for what I believe in.
Yeah, well, we are so proud of you. And I know so many others must be grateful. So you painted your new spot this past weekend. And we have an updated photo of that spot as well. I believe this is the one right behind us. So Sophia, why is your faith important to you? Where do you think you got the courage to stand up for your faith in this situation?
I think my faith is so important to me because just like growing up and, growing wiser and older, I just feel like as children of God, we should really go about our everyday life trying to represent Him and represent His love, Like we shouldn't conform to the things of this world and act the things of like people of this world when we know we're set apart and we're set differently.
Yeah. And I know that we had some major current events that have happened recently, and with Charlie Kirk and everything. And if I remember correctly, even that was an inspiring moment for you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what did that mean to you? How did that help inspire you?
I think just Charlie Kirk and everything he stood up for and what he died for was just honestly like amazing. He was such an inspiration, not only for me, but for the younger generations too. And he's inspiring everyone even more further now than before.
Yeah. Wow. So what would you say to encourage others that are your age that might be facing adversity or challenges when it comes to displaying and living out their faith?
Just no matter what, I think that you should just remember that Jesus loves you and that there's no reason to hide anything, because it says, I think it's in, I forgot the Bible verse, but it says, if the world hates you, just remember that it hated me first. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's really good to take on with your everyday life, that even if you come across people who say not nice things or don't want you to stand up for what you believe in, it's important to know that Jesus stood up for what he believed in.
Yeah, so good, so good. Well, thank you for your courage and your boldness and for standing up for what you believe in. Just like Sabrina inspired you, I'm sure your story has inspired so many others that have been watching from afar. So we want to say thank you for standing up.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. And thank you, ladies, both for joining us today on First Liberty Live. We are so grateful to represent clients like Sophia so that way she can live out her faith freely. Our clients never receive a bill from us because of supporters like you who come alongside us in this mission. So we're a nonprofit, so everything we do is possible from generous donors. So if you would like to support clients like Sophia and be part of this mission, you can partner with us today. You can go to firstliberty.org and look for the big red give button in the top corner. First Liberty, fighting for what matters most.